Hey everyone, so I saw this article the other day on Yahoo about these guys who get like 70 miles to the gallon plus in certain vehicles. I believe they did theirs on a VW Golf or something like that. I'm not too sure, but it was just a little car. And they do this by doing what they call hypermiling. Now the premise is basically that you do anything and everything you can to get the maximum fuel economy out of your vehicle. So I'm going to try this with my 2016 Tacoma. It's a TRD Off-Road 4x4. I run it in two-wheel drive, and it's an automatic. But as you can see right now, my current fuel economy is 22.5. I had sort of started doing this yesterday. I'm not going to go the full gamut of what all entails hypermiling. That would include things like ensuring your tire pressure is right, not running the air conditioner, only using your windows down at certain points and at certain speeds. But the main thing I'm going to try to do is just smoothing out your driving. So it's essentially the goal is to conserve your momentum as much as possible. So with that, like I said, I've started out at 22.5, and that's with 1 day's worth of trying this. So I want to see by the end of the week what I can get this up to. Hey everyone, so I have been doing the hypermiling for a little over 2 days now. So it's Tuesday. Started on Monday. I'm up to 23.3 miles to the gallon on this tank. As you can see, I have only about a quarter tank of fuel left. So I'm gonna have to probably refuel before I finish the week out. That will probably reset the calculation on the average miles per gallon per tank. So I think I'd be able to get this up to about 24.5-ish by the end of the week. So that's kind of what I was thinking this would end out at. Whereas when I refuel the tank, it should reset it, and that might skew the numbers upward. I also wanted to add in a little bit about my daily commute. I travel about 60 miles round trip, and the vast majority of that driving time is highway driving time. So with that, I think I should be able to get this up to a pretty high fuel economy, maybe on the order of 27 or 28 miles to the gallon. But that's going to be on a tank average starting on the new tank that I'll probably have to fill up either probably not tomorrow, but maybe the next day. All right, thanks. Hey everyone, just a little bit of an update. I do have to refuel my tank, so I did want to show you. So far, I've been able to get it up to 23.6 miles to the gallon, which was pretty impressive. But like I said, I have to refill my tank, so that's going to reset the trip calculation on how what my fuel economy is. So I should expect that my fuel economy should jump by several points. But I did want to show you this before I refuel the tank to start the trial again up tomorrow, and I'll be continuing it through the end of the week. So I'm excited to see what it gets up to on my average trip miles per gallon. I've been averaging somewhere around 27 to 30. On this case, I got up to 28.8 miles to the gallon. So that's kind of where I'm going with that. After I refuel my tank, I should expect that the average fuel economy will jump. But I did want to record what I had gotten to prior to refueling my tank. So one thing I did want to add, so this is kind of a trial of hypermiling per se, but really to truly do that, you'd have to take into consideration a few different things that I'm not doing during this test, like changing your tire pressure, not running the air conditioner, and a slew of other items. So for my purposes, really the only change that I'm making is that I'm changing my driving behavior, in that I try to stay several car lengths behind anyone so that I have time to react to them, so that I can make my driving as smooth as possible. So just for your information, that's kind of how I'm going about this trial, is mainly just changing the behavioral aspects of my driving. I'm not doing really any of the other technical aspects that you could do for hypermiling. Just wanted to get that out there. Hey everyone, I wanted to show you something pretty exciting. Today, after like I said yesterday, I had filled my tank up. Today I was able to get my average fuel economy for the tank up to 29.2, which is a lot higher than I was expecting. I thought that maybe foreseeably I'd be able to get it to, see right there, I've got my average fuel economy is 30.2 miles to the gallon, which is really high. So that was my trip from work down to my home. And like I said, I was thinking that all I could really get it up to was maybe 28 miles to the gallon at best, having kind of seen what you could do earlier in the week. But today I exceeded what I thought I was able to do. So for me, this really shows that if you change your driving habits, you really can change the fuel economy that you have for your vehicle, and that you can get a lot higher. I would say some of the drawbacks though are it's pretty boring driving. My overall review of the process so far would be that you spend a lot of time driving under the speed limit, or at the speed limit at best. I have on a few occasions probably frustrated a few other people. I was honked at least once, that I know I was directly responsible for their impatience and frustration. And I have noticed a few people in my rear view giving me the, not the bird, but the "what are you doing? Why are you going so slow" type look. So, I mean, overall, I'd say if you really are into getting your fuel economy as high as you can get it, this is a good way to do it. It's not exciting driving, like I was saying, but if it's something you're into, I'm sure it would be something fun to do. I don't know that I will continue to do it, just because it is very tedious driving. It is kind of fun in some ways, from the standpoint of you have to actively look ahead of you and try to anticipate the movements of traffic, and some of the more fuel economic spots are when traffic is moving at a decent pace with just some lulls here and there. It feels like you can really get, with timing the rhythms, you can get some pretty good fuel economy, because the overall traffic is moving at roughly between 40 and 50 miles an hour, maybe 55 miles an hour. So me traveling slower isn't as big of a deal, and I can work around it. Whereas though you can boost your average quite a bit, a lot easier, I think, on the stints where traffic's moving really quickly, around 60 miles an hour or more, then you can really lock in at a pretty consistent fuel economy and just keep it at like 60 miles an hour or so, or 65. But when traffic's moving really fast, it's a little more stressful, because everyone's passing you at quite a big clip. I don't know, I live down here in Texas, so though the speed limit says it's 65, I rarely see people drive 65. 65 essentially just generally means go 70 or 75 plus, or at least that's what it feels like. So yeah, I just wanted to give you that little tidbit. I am going to try to do this again tomorrow, so I might have another little bit of an update, but that was kind of the end of my work week, and more or less the end of my trial for what I wanted to do for this video. So yeah, if you have any questions or comments, feel free to leave me some comments below. Like I said, I mainly just changed my driving habits, and that's how I was able to achieve 29.3 or 2 miles to the gallon on average for this tank. Alright, hey everyone, I wanted to check in. So over the weekend, my average fuel economy has dropped down to 22.4. I haven't been trying to hypermile at all. I really haven't been trying to watch my driving habits or anything over the weekend, and we've been doing a lot of driving in and around town. So I'm actually headed to San Antonio, and over the course of the trip, it's about a 3-hour drive from where I'm at. I'm gonna see if I can get it back up to maybe 24 miles to the gallon. So we'll see how this goes. Again, it's about like a 3-hour drive. I'm at 22.4. We'll see how this goes. Thanks. Just a little update on my way back from San Antonio. I've been able to get it up to 25.1 miles to the gallon for the average fuel economy. I'm about to run out of gas, so I had to refuel. Overall, the tank average is 23.3. I don't know how to get it to go back to the screen without turning my car off and on again. But it's 23.3. Which is lower than I kind of expected to get it up to. So some of the things I did notice though was that the highway I-10 on the way to San Antonio, the average speed, or not the average, but the speed limit's 75 miles per hour. And I've noticed it's very difficult to get good gas mileage when you're going 70 or 75 miles an hour. So I actually have ended up in an effort to maximize my fuel economy. I've been trying to stay in the slow lane, and where I can get behind semis and whatnot, which probably takes into account a little bit of drafting, but still trying to stay at 65 or so for my speed But even still, sometimes it doesn't work out to where that's really all that safe, just because the traffic around you is going so fast. You end up having to go 70 or 75 to keep up, and then your fuel economy plummets. So that's why that's why I think that my fuel economy is down at the 23.3 as opposed to something in the 24 to 26 range. It's just kind of what I was expecting on my way down here. But those are just kind of my thoughts so far. If you have any comments, leave them down below. Thanks.